Hello, you gorgeous donuts. Today, we're going to be looking into the I hate my boyfriend epidemic. We covered the I hate my girlfriend epidemic, and that was absolutely insane. But I feel like this is going to be a lot worse. Specifically, for me. In this video, we're going to cover how an article was released saying that having a boyfriend now is embarrassing. We're going to have a look at the fallout to that article, seeing what girlfriends say, and seeing what people say in general. Like, is it actually embarrassing to have a boyfriend? A boy's cooked. Basically, you know? And then later in this video, we're also going to have a look at some girlfriends who genuinely just hate their boyfriend. I am really intrigued by this one. Let's get into it. So like I said, an article was published by British Vogue. The writer of this was Shante Joseph. And the title, as you can see, is called Is Having a Boyfriend Embarrassing Now? And as you can see by the picture, you know, she looks so embarrassed that her boyfriend is... I don't know, is he trying to like... just kiss her or lick her? Yeah, I don't know what. This is quite embarrassing, actually. Good photo, Vogue. Now, let's just go through the article and, you know, see what the reasoning is behind this. Because when I first read this, I was like, oh my god, I'm going to be single. This is it. We're finally cooked, gentlemen. Our time has come. Women are figuring out that we ain't oh. If someone so much as says my boyf on social media, they're muted. Oh, okay, well, you know, couldn't hope for a worse start, lads. Couldn't hope for a worse start. The 20% of my audience that is men, you should be hanging your head in shame right now that you were born as a man. There's nothing I hate more than following someone for fun, only for their content to become my boyfriend. Oh! Is this true? Ladies, like, if you follow another girl and they post a picture of your boyfriend, are you like, oh, men? So this is what I followed for, men. This is exactly what I'm trying to get away from. This is probably because for so long, it felt like we were living in what one of my favourite Substackers calls boyfriend land. A world where women's online identity centred around the lives of their partners, a situation rarely seen reversed. Women were rewarded for their ability to find and keep a man with elevated social status and praise. It became even more suffocating when this could be leveraged on social media for engagement, and if you were serious enough, financial gain. Okay, so I kind of understand what the article's saying at this point. Maybe it's not embarrassing to have a boyfriend after all. It's just embarrassing to make your entire personality your boyfriend. But is that really embarrassing? I understand it from like, you know, being independent and you're like, yeah, you're your own person. You shouldn't kind of weigh all of the good things about you, you know, down to your boyfriend, because that's obviously not true. But I do feel like if you're one of those people that does just like posting their partner, it doesn't have to be a boyfriend or a girlfriend, I feel like that's totally fine. However, more recently, there's been a pronounced shift in the way people showcase their relationships online. Far from fully hard-launching romantic partners, straight women are opting for subtler signs, a hand on a steering wheel, clinking glasses at dinner, or the back of someone's head. On the more confusing end, you have faces blurred out of wedding pictures, or entire professionally edited videos with the fiancé conveniently cropped out of all shots. Oh, so true. Honestly, like, when people do this, I am like, oh, they're a little bit mysterious. Like, they're only showing the back of their boyfriend's head or their girlfriend's head. What's going on here? Are they famous? Why aren't they showing us? What are they hiding? I don't know if we're overthinking this, though. Because I feel like it's kind of influencer style posting that, isn't it? If you're kind of, you know, keeping everyone guessing about who your partner is. Like, you're kind of posting like you're an influencer at that point. The author of this article got a quote from a woman who said, I don't think I will ever post a man. Even though I am romantic, I still feel like men will embarrass you even 12 years in. So claiming them feels so lame. So true, bestie. So true. What, you think I'm going to post you on my Instagram with the sheer possibility of you embarrassing me down the line? You've got another thing coming, love. You've got another thing coming. Think I'm going to hard launch it? Think I'm going to be embarrassed by a man? Not me, love. Not me. Putting me foot down. Guys, I feel like I need to go and ask Chloe now. Is she embarrassed by me? I don't actually, I feel like I don't want the answer to that, so I'm just not going to ask her. I'll just kind of pretend that this is not even happening right now. I'm okay with having that question unanswered. Thank you very much. Boyfriends are out of style. They won't come back in until they start acting right. Having a boyfriend typically takes a hit on woman's aura. Is that true? Wait, so when I'm like, if I'm just outside with Chloe, are people walking past going, oh my god, like, she has no aura? She's walking down the street with a guy. Oh my god, how embarrassing. What? Could never be me. I didn't realize that I was walking down the street just destroying all of her aura. What a horrible person. I didn't even know I was doing this as well. So how can I fix it? How can I add to her aura? Because at the minute I seem to be taking it all away. I feel like I need to stab someone, get me rep up a little bit. Is that or I don't know if that's more aura. I think that's just being a criminal. The thing is, like, you know, you can take this with a pinch of salt, but there is like a lot of people that are actually like, yeah, honestly, like, I would never get a boyfriend. Like, they just don't match me fit. What? Do you think I'm gonna put a boyfriend in me photo dump on Instagram? Do you think I'm embarrassing? Never be me. Even if we were still together, I wouldn't post them here. There is something cringy and embarrassing about constantly posting your partner these days. There is a part of me that would also feel guilty for sharing my partner constantly, especially when we know the dating landscape is really shifting at the moment. I wouldn't want to be boastful. I do understand what they're saying, and when you take it, like, you know, lightheartedly, I understand. But also, I feel like just do what you want to do. Do you know, like, there will be some people watching that, there might be a couple watching this, and you two constantly post each other, and I think that's totally fine. You know, if you both are totally on board with this, and you both, like, you know, want to share each other's lives with the world, there's nothing wrong with that. But just know, you're going to lose all of your aura if you do that. I'm looking at you, girlfriend. Look at that man sitting beside you right now. Take a look at him. See if he's destroying your aura. There's even an extract here from a content creator called Sophie Milner, who also experienced people unfollowing her when she shared a romantic relationship. This summer, a boy took me to Sicily. I posted about it on my subscriber section, and people replied saying things like, please don't get a boyfriend. No! You're losing your aura points, love. What are you standing next to him for? Oh, he wears represent and he's 6'2". We don't care, love. Also, I don't think posting your partner is boastful, as long as you're not doing it in a boastful way. If you post an Instagram post going, isn't my boyfriend much fitter than all of you silly ones that you have at home? Fair enough, that's a little bit boastful. But if you just post on your partner because you love them, I don't think there's much of an issue with that. I don't look at that and go, oh god, why is she trying to flex her boyfriend right now? Like, what? But then again, I do understand from the other perspective, if you are somebody that isn't interested in relationship content and you might have originally followed someone for, you know, just them by themselves, then I get it. Like, I feel like you have a right to unfollow them at that point, even if it is a bit like cutthroat. It's just not what you're interested in. You have a right to do that, especially if you've just come out of a breakup or something like that, and you know, you just don't want to kind of consume that type of content in that time of your life. I totally get it. The article ends by saying having a boyfriend will remain a somewhat fragile or even contentious concept within public life. Yeah, you know, honestly, like, girls, I don't know about you, but I feel like men fell off. I feel like I fell off. You know, I'm just not the same as I used to be. Like, I used to go to war and stuff. Now, I go in a bad mood when I've run out of butter in the house. You know, I'm like, I can't have toast now with butter. Like, this is the worst day of my life. We fell off. Like, what are we doing here? Now, when I first saw this article getting plastered everywhere, because it went mega viral, I was thinking, like, what is the public reaction to this? Are people worldwide admitting that it is embarrassing to have a boyfriend now? Or are people coming out in defense of boyfriends? Let's take a look. How it feels to be single after British Vogue declared that having a boyfriend is embarrassing. Bro, imagine if you'd like timed this perfectly. You know, you just got out of your relationship the day before this article dropped. Oh, can you imagine? You'd be like, I know, I'm ahead of the trend. I've got insider information. I knew this was coming. I got rid of him. This has nearly 2 million likes, by the way. Not views, likes. Only the cool girls are single right now. I think it's more embarrassing that some people still read Vogue. Oh! Shots fired back from Ibrahim. He's having none of it. Okay, so someone said having a boyfriend is embarrassing, but having 3 boyfriends is smart. Oh no. With 3? Like, not even 2. Why do we need 3? 1 for breakfast, 1 for dinner, and 1 for tea? Why do you need 3 boyfriends, love? That's a whole roster. Get 2 more, you've got a 5-a-side team that can all become friends. That was not mentioned in the article. To be fair, if I saw someone post on Instagram going, yeah, I'm with boyfriend number 3 today, boyfriend number 2 and 1 have been put to the side, I would think that she has aura. Girls, how do I break it to him 6 years in that it's now embarrassing to have a boyfriend? Brother's just trying to tuck into his rice. He's getting called embarrassing. He's even got a man bag on as well. Does nothing for his aura. I'm just getting this vision of like people in just really happy relationships reading this article and going, ah, well, that's that then. Back to the streets for me.
I've just broke up with a boyfriend not that long ago, and it's put me in the over 30s and single category. To be honest, I was getting a little bit worried for myself because I'm not getting any younger. But what I was not expecting was British Vogue to come out and say that it's actually embarrassing to have a boyfriend. Girls, I think I've just peaked. I feel that this is everything I've ever wished for. This is like the category, the overs category, but now we're recognised and we're given credit and people want to be us. Like, I can't wait for the next time a boy gives one of my friends and I'm just going to say to her, like, babes, so 2016 to have a boyfriend, like, it's really embarrassing that you're going to have to dump him. And I'm just going to have to say to them, I'm going to have to say, girls, look, I'm not going to be able to hang around with you anymore because you've got a boyfriend. It's embarrassing. I think I was crying on the couch a month ago that I just broke up with my boyfriend. If only she could see me now. She's being recognised in Vogue.
So not only is it embarrassing to have a boyfriend, but your friends are going to unfriend you if you have a boyfriend. It's coming from all angles. You look that way, there's people giving you you look this way, your boyfriend's over there with you zero aura. The worst day of my life. I used to take value in being a boyfriend. Now it means nothing. It means nothing. To anyone who used to have a boyfriend watching this, have you had a breakup recently, and did you discover this article, and did it make you feel seen? Did it make you feel any better? I love how much emphasis people are putting on this article. It's making a lot of people feel, you know, very valued.
Does anyone else cringe whenever they have to say my boyfriend?
My boyfriend. It's like she's saying a slur. It's like she's like, I know I'm not meant to say this, but right, I'll write it down for you, right, so it's a bit better.
I'm having a hard time letting all my friends know that I have a boyfriend. And it's not because I don't like him or anything. He's actually the most decent human being that I've dated in probably ever.
That's nice. Calling your boyfriend, yeah, you know, he's the most decent one I've had. Yeah, he's alright. Honestly, he's not ruined my life yet. So that's a positive. Can you imagine being her boyfriend watching this right now going, that's not Sophie, is it? Why Sophie? Okay.
But why is it so embarrassing whenever he comes up in conversation and I have to be like, oh yeah, me and my boyfriend. Like, oh, ew. I don't know why, but every time I say that, I just feel like a high schooler talking about her first boyfriend and how he asked her out on Valentine's Day or something. And before I would call him my boy space friend or the guy I'm dating, but should I start calling him my partner? Would that make it better? And maybe it's the fact that I was single for a couple years, or the fact that I'm actually scared of most men and don't even really want to be friends with them, so why do I even want to date this one? But something about saying my boyfriend makes me physically ill.
This is really interesting because clearly, you know, she feels very passionate about this. Like, she really means this. Like, saying my boyfriend is like the bane of her life. And obviously that's not like the nicest thing for her boyfriend to hear. But clearly this is like an internal issue that she is dealing with. It seems to be the term boyfriend that she's struggling with, because she's saying, if I say partner, does that make it better? And she doesn't wince when she says partner. Every single time she said boyfriend there, it was like she was about to be sick. I don't know if it's like you feel like the term boyfriend is kind of like, you know, you think of it when you're younger, I guess, reserved for like being in your teens. But, you know, you can be 40 years old, 50 years old, 70 years old and have a boyfriend. Like, I don't feel like it is just reserved for when you're younger. I know, you know, hopefully you become, whatever, fiance and then, you know, husband and wife. But I do find it interesting how a lot of people now are thinking it is icky to just talk about your boyfriend. Why? What happened? Like, what happened in the last couple of years? The stocks of men are keep going down. Why? When he thinks he's competing with other men, but he's really competing with the fact that having a boyfriend is embarrassing. Yeah, bro's constantly in like some sort of aura debt here. You know, no matter how many good deeds he does, no matter how many things he does that his girlfriend likes, he's never going to get out of this debt. He's always in the having a boyfriend is embarrassing debt. It's a tough world here, girls, honestly. This is probably like the toughest thing a human's ever been through. You know, like being a man and being in aura debt to your girlfriend. Like, you just don't understand how hard this is for us. This is a journey that not many people actually, you know, can overcome. How am I supposed to break it to him that Vogue said having a boyfriend is embarrassing, and so by law I have to leave him? To be fair, he drank the milk straight out of the carton. I feel like that's a dumpable offence as it is. Like, straight away I would be like, yeah, get out. What? Like, all your backsplash is going back in the milk, you fiend. Think of that cow that had to go through that for you just to drink it like that. Twat. It's already embarrassing enough having a boyfriend, and you do stuff like that. Someone is very angry in this TikTok because Vogue obviously published that it's embarrassing to have a boyfriend in 2025. The second I get a boyfriend after being single for 4 years. Sometimes the world can be so cruel. You're telling me that you were, you know, single and uncool for 4 years, and then when single's in, you then get to be, oh, love, just saying, right, not inviting you to the cool club. I love that she's genuinely disgusted with herself. She's devastated. Okay, so this person actually said, where can I buy a physical copy of British Vogue? I want to frame the article, is having a boyfriend embarrassing now, and put it on my wall. That's maybe a little bit far, love. What happens when you eventually do get a boyfriend? And like, they walk in and the first thing they see is that frame. They're going to be like, oh, am I in the right house here? Just, you know, like, apparently my presence is embarrassing. I want to frame it. Does anyone actually know the colour scheme to it? Because I kind of want to get it tattooed on my forehead.
It's embarrassing to have a boyfriend. I've been reposting them posts, and people in my like DMs being like, oh, like, have you broken up with your boyfriend? No, I haven't broken up with my boyfriend, but I can still admit it's embarrassing to have a boyfriend. Like,
that's the funniest one yet. Oh, have you broken up with your boyfriend? Are you okay, love? I've not broken up with my boyfriend. Just putting him in his place. Just reminding him. You know, I'm doing my charity work being with him. Again, imagine being the boyfriend, just scrolling your For You page, and it's just like, oh, I want to keep posting TikToks about how having a boyfriend's embarrassing. Like, how would you actually feel? I would be like, I think she's trying to send me a message here. Does she want me to break up with her?
They can embarrass you today, tomorrow, yesterday, and you'll just leave, yeah, for sure. But it's still embarrassing. Like, it's embarrassing to have a boyfriend that could embarrass you. Anyway, but like that article is so funny, and I just think it's so good. Like, hopefully it means as a generation we're gradually decentering men. Thank God, about time. They're not that interesting.
No, they're waking up, guys. They're waking up to our averageness. Oh, we were once put on a pedestal for our averageness. Now we're called out on it. Oh, this is so funny.
Like, the thing is, yeah, yes, I'm attracted to his arms, I'm attracted to his pockets, I'm attracted to his aura, but it's still embarrassing that, like, one can have a boyfriend. Like, what the hell? Like, I'm just a girl, do you know what I mean? Like, I like what I like, but it's still embarrassing. What? Like, anyway, I just found it so funny. I've genuinely had people text me like, oh, like, are you and your man still together? I'm like, yeah, like, why wouldn't we? Like, what the hell? But then I realised, like, they're seeing these reposts and they're thinking, this babe does not rate her man.
She also put a comment in the comment section saying, this has my boyfriend enraged, by the way. Yeah, honestly, I don't kind of... I guess enraged is a bit too much. But I definitely feel like, you know, he has to have a conversation that if you guys are actually okay. Because now you've explained it and I can tell, you know, you're having a laugh with it. He probably didn't realise that. He's probably actually thinking you're trying to send him a message if it's just you reposting all of these. Especially if your friends have also messaged you this. Can I be honest right now? I'm actually fine with it being embarrassing to have a boyfriend. You know, I'm fine with that. I already just feel embarrassed of myself you know, like most of the time. Kind of my self-esteem is already on the floor. So this article coming out, it can't get any lower, so I'm kind of just the same. I feel like I can just body this one and just carry on with my day, do you know what I mean? This doesn't really affect me. You know, I'm kind of like, this isn't really getting to me, which I'm happy about. Okay, I think we have found one. Kyle, step up, boyfriend. Having a boyfriend's embarrassing trend happening during men's mental health month says it all. Chin up, buddy. You're a good guy. So true, bestie. Out of any month, they pick this month. One thing I will say, and I hope you can realise from my tone in this video, is I do understand that this is a joke. But also, you know, some people actually are running with it. But overall, people are joking, like the last woman. She's joking. You know, she's just having fun with it. She's just playing with it. I don't think you should really take too much offence to this if you are a boyfriend. Like, it's not that deep in my opinion. If your girlfriend watches this video and they start, you know, hurling abuse at you, calling you embarrassing, then I feel like you should take offence and maybe, you know, reevaluate your relationship. But if they're just winding you up with it, it's not that deep, right? It's just a little bit of fun, in my opinion. But then again, I don't really take offence to pretty much anything, so my perspective might not be the best on this.
Oh, boyfriends are embarrassing, are they? Ha! Is this embarrassing?
Come on. Come on. Nah. That, mate, honestly... Yeah, you get it, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, what?
Damn, what? Oh my god, if I wasn't straight right now.
That's what I thought. So next time, keep my name out your mouth. I'm also single, so maybe, you know, not the best representative, but...
Yeah, that's you told ladies. Right? Is that embarrassing? Is this embarrassing? Okay. Just saying. Just saying. What you got to say now? Nothing. That's right. What? Oh yeah, fingers on lips. Thank you very much. Now, obviously, we've seen kind of a mixed bag there, kind of leading towards still boyfriends being embarrassing. I have seen some girlfriends coming out on TikTok and kind of backing their boyfriends up. Bro, why did that make me emotional? I don't even know either of these people, you know, but this actually made me really happy. They just look really happy together. See, if you post TikToks like this, you know, there's no issue with it. Again, this is cute, right? It's very demure. I love that. Give me more of that. Now, before we move on to TikToks, where girlfriends are basically talking about how much they actually hate their boyfriends and why they believe it actually is embarrassing to have one. The actual author of the article, Shantae Joseph, did a TikTok explaining like her reasoning behind making this.
For British Vogue, I wrote, "This piece is having a boyfriend embarrassing now." I know people are reading the headline, they're like, nah, nah, nah.
But listen, for this piece, I interviewed a bunch of women. I spoke to them about why they hide their partners on social media, or they like post very inconspicuously about them. You know, some people said it was about privacy and this sort of unique, special privacy that you only afford your romantic partner. A lot of people spoke about the evil eye and this idea that, oh, if I post my partner, then people who are jealous of me will somehow, through their terrible vibes, ruin my relationship. Some people said that they felt as if they were scared to post because what happens when someone comes to them as a woman, or what happens when they break up and they have to, you know, delete all the posts. And there's this whole feeling of like shame of having tried and failed to find love. And then there was a really interesting point that came across both people in relationships and single people, and this idea that like being in a relationship with a man and showcasing it to the world in and of itself was an embarrassing thing to do. And that's what I really wanted to get into.
I will say, I really do hope that this video doesn't make people overthink their own situation. Like everyone in this article and stuff, it's very much overthinking a lot of it. Like, oh, you know, this person could possibly see our relationship and end our relationship. Like, you're kind of existing in a universe with issues that aren't even real. You know, you're just kind of like pre-ordering all of these issues that probably won't happen, which is the essence of overthinking. I think you should just do whatever makes you comfortable. Whatever is particular to you and you feel comfortable with, that's what you should do. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It doesn't matter if anyone else thinks it's embarrassing. If you think it's embarrassing to post your boyfriend, don't post him. If you don't, post him. You know, like it doesn't matter really what anyone else thinks. I just want to make that clear.
Idea of there not being a solidarity with other women. There was this idea of like a relationship just by default being something that rendered you quite uncool. I spoke about this podcast I came across where they were talking about, is it lame to have a boyfriend? And they say, you know, when I meet a girl and she has a boyfriend, I automatically just kind of put her in a box or in a category, and I just don't feel as inspired or engaged by her. And then when someone doesn't, I feel like they have so much life and prospect and they are just entertaining and fun, and I kind of feel empowered by their individualism.
Like that point a bit. Like obviously that's not her point. She's talking about she heard that on a podcast. That's a very, you know, blanket term. Like it's not very nice to say that a woman has a boyfriend and that makes her uninspiring. Like that's a horrible thing to say. Like you know nothing about this person. This person might be the most inspiring person ever, but they also like having a boyfriend, like having someone there for them. That's totally fine. That doesn't make them any less inspiring than someone else who is the exact equivalent of them who doesn't have a partner. I feel like that's very unfair. Just putting people in a box like that when you've just met them and you only hear this one thing about them.
Well, interestingly, the girls talking about this on the podcast, agreeing with this idea that like girls without boyfriends are cool, are also in relationships themselves. And so I was thinking so much about how it is very uncool to be a boyfriend girl. It is very uncool to be a my man person. And I spoke to both just people who are on social, but also content creators and influencers about what happens when they post their partners, right? A lot of them lose a lot of followers, especially if they were already single. And this idea that now you are someone's girlfriend and you're posting about this, it's something that people automatically disengage from. I do it too. If I follow someone because they, I don't know, post their outfits and all of a sudden it's their boyfriend every day, I'm just like mute. I came here for a reason.
And that part, I actually, like I've said before in this video, I actually really agree with. Like, it doesn't have to just be about a partner. It can be anything. If you follow me for these videos and then all of a sudden I start making like kayaking videos, you'll be like, I'm not here for kayaking. I mean, some people might be, appreciate it, but some people will be like, I'm not here for this. It's the same, like if you followed someone for like the fit checks or whatever, and then their entire content is about the boyfriend, you have a right to unfollow at that point because they're not delivering on what you originally signed up for. That's completely fair in my opinion. And I don't feel like people can get angry for that. Like, yes, post your boyfriend as well, but you still have to maintain the thing you were doing prior. I'm speaking just strictly if you're an influencer content creator here. Again, not trying to make people who don't really post on social media overthink everything.
But this is happening like across the board, and like just culturally, I think a lot of like the days of a man being a prize has really changed. It's really changed. And obviously this has come from like just the empowerment of single women in general, but also just how the trajectory of men and women are going in completely opposite directions. And now we're having to look at heterosexuality with the political lens that we've looked at other sexualities. And we really have to evaluate, if we are a part of this thing, what does it mean? And we have to be honest with ourselves. If people want to scream like, men are trash, I hate all men, men are trash, I hate all men, and then you shack up with a man and you're like, but not my man though, and someone says that's embarrassing, this is the culture that we've created and we've fostered, right? And so I think a lot of people want to have their pie and eat it too. When there's nothing wrong with that, but I just think as we become a lot more critical of heterosexuality,
I just think those, you can't sit comfortably in that anymore.
That is interesting. I find it really interesting, the conversation around this. Like, it is really deep, certain aspects of it. Because I totally agree with that. Like, if someone is saying, like, oh, you know, men are trash or whatever, and then you get a boyfriend, like, oh yeah, everyone but mine. It's like, well, you know, were you lying before? Like, you know, this whole persona you have of hating, like, men, it's kind of got bullet wounds in it now because you have one. I understand it from that point of view totally. Moving on to some people that genuinely do hate their boyfriend and they tell the whole world about it, but not their boyfriend. Y'all want to lose a boyfriend till this is how you spend your day off. There's nothing wrong with having a nerdy boyfriend who collects things. That's cool, actually, ladies. That's one of the cool boyfriends. You know, like someone that just like collects figures and stuff. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Literally nothing wrong with that. Like, especially if he collects like Game of Thrones things and has, you know, King Joffrey. Like, genuinely, there's nothing wrong with that. If he collects movie memorabilia as well, like, that's actually really cool. Like, if he has, obviously, like, the Negan bat from The Walking Dead, that's really cool. If he has Tom Marvolo's Riddle's diary, that's really cool as well. That's a cool boyfriend to have, if anyone's wondering.
Bro, I'm trying to break up with my boyfriend. He keeps saying, we can make it work, I don't want to make it work! No! Oh my god. No, I don't want to make it work. Please let me break up with you.
Bro, you do know you can, right? You do know you can just, like, tell him. You know, like, even at this stage, even if you broke up with him over text, it would be a little bit more, I guess, respectful than, you know, just going on TikTok and kind of hoping he sees this. I'm just going to put this on TikTok and hopefully this comes on his, you know, For You page. I'll put some hashtags on. Hopefully it lands on him.
Okay, wait, tell us again.
So we have to come here again every year, but get a double room. Boys on one side, girls on the other. Of course, your daddy's going to want to stay with his wife. He's going to be with mom. But all I have to do is say something or do something to make him mad at me so he didn't speak to me for 3 days.
And the whole vacation, it could be.
That's exactly right. And I can arrange for that. I'm good at it.
Bro is the final boss of, you know, hating your boyfriend, hating your husband. She purposely pisses him off, so then she gets to have some alone time for a couple of days with her daughter. Honestly, if this was my relationship, I would just try to develop the best patience in the world. I'd be like, you know what? No matter what you say, I'm still going to be your friend. So, unlucky, love. Oh, you hate me. Guess what? I hate me too. Guess that makes us buddies then. Donuts, this has been a thrill. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Like I mentioned previously at the start of this video, we did do an entire video on the I hate my girlfriend epidemic, which I think is a lot more hurtful because guys are posting TikToks about how much they despise their girlfriend and they're going into detail about it. Bearing in mind their girlfriends follow them. So if you want to go and watch that video, brace yourself because it is wild. I'll see you over there. Bye-bye.
Camkirkham, baby.